man. Now we're officially started. Okay, so welcome back, my good people. Hopefully everybody's doing well. You know, doing your best to make it. All right, and today, we are going to start the discussion about the next project we're going to be working on. All right, and this will take us like well into March. All right, so it's not a summary response essay, if that's what you were thinking, like summary response number 3. All right, so yeah, I'm just talking about our next essay here. As far as your summary responses, draft number 2, not draft number 2, but summary response 2, make sure you get that uploaded today. If you haven't submitted that yet, all right, make sure you get it in, because I don't want you to be working on that while we're about to talk about this new thing. All right, and today I just wanted to go over the prompt, and I'm still kind of undecided about Thursday's session. If we don't have a session Thursday, I will post a recording. All right, but we may have a live session. All right.
Is there supposed to be like a snowstorm or something?
No, it was just the session before we went on break. So we'll do something short, or like I said, I'll just post a recorded lecture. All right. Those are always fun. So they're fun for students too, right? All right. So our next essay is a bit longer, but it's kind of an extension of what we've been doing. All right, meaning there's going to be some elements of summary response to this essay, but it's not a full-blown summary response. And I'm in we're 12 weeks. Okay, like week 4. Well, I'm in the week 4 module, rhetorical analysis, and just to look at the assignment, I'm coming all the way down, not all the way down, but almost all the way down to this rhetorical analysis rough draft. I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to open the prompt. Okay. I need to edit my link. The link sucks. I'm moving too fast there. See if I can do that real quick. Oh, you know what? I'll just do it later. So there's a couple things here. All right, here's the prompt. Here's top 100 speeches, and here's this famous speeches. Okay, I'll fix my typo in a minute here. All right. Top 100 speeches, famous speeches. I'll tell you about the relevance of those in a second. All right, let me just get our thing open here. Rhetorical analysis is just what it sounds like. An analysis of rhetoric, or better yet, an analysis of rhetorical strategy. All right, and rhetorical strategies are like when you make an argument, there's what you're saying, but then there's also like how you're presenting your message. All right, and this essay that we're going to write is going to be looking at the how of certain messages that are delivered. And I think one thing that we should be clear about when it comes to rhetorical analysis, it's not about agree, disagree. All right, it's more or less about the effectiveness of a message, meaning like the effectiveness of a speaker or a writer or an arguer, if you will, in delivering a message. So you could have a writer, or you could do a rhetorical analysis of a piece of writing that you kind of disagree with everything in there. That's cool. Not to say that that's going to be what your assignment is, but just like hypothetically, it's not about agreeing or disagreeing. It's about just assessing an argument and assessing like rhetorical strategies. All right. And I'll show you what some of those rhetorical strategies are. What time is it? Yeah, we should be able to get to that today. All right. So here it is, man. The week 4 module, rhetorical analysis essay prompt. Rhetorical analysis involves exploring an argument's rhetorical strategies to gauge the effectiveness of the argument. All right, that was kind of a mouthful. It's not an assessment of whether you agree or disagree with the argument itself. Instead, rhetorical analysis requires you to examine the types of appeals, ethos, pathos, logos. Okay, I will go into more of an in-depth explanation momentarily about those, but ethos, it's just, ethical appeal or credibility, meaning like what makes this speaker, what makes this writer, what makes this arguer, what makes them credible, right? Meaning what makes them trustworthy, okay? What makes them trustworthy? Pathos is emotional appeal. Like, how does this speaker appeal to their audience's emotions? How do they arouse, certain emotions in their audience? Okay, how do they play on these emotions? All right. And then logos is logical appeal, right? How do they appeal to their audience's logic? All right. And that's really a question of like what evidence or what proofs are being shown, for whatever argument is being made. All right. And when we do our own arguments, we're also going to be employing, ethos, pathos, and logos. All right. If you don't want to use the Latin words, you can just say ethical appeal, emotional appeal. Pathos kind of looks like pathological. That's where that word comes from, or pathos is kind of the root word of pathological. And then logos kind of looks like logic, right? Ethics, or ethos kind of looks like ethics. All right. So of course, you're looking at your speaker's credibility. What makes them credible? Is it their history, right? Is it their education? Is it their background of action, right? Whatever. Is it someone that's been, researching, this topic, meaning are they an expert authority? Whatever. But in part of your analysis, that's a question you're going to have to address. What makes your speaker credible? All right. Again, how are they using emotional appeal? And just be mindful that not every argument uses emotional appeal, right? So if you choose an argument, to analyze and there is no emotional appeal, that's cool. All right. But also think about how that affects the argument. Maybe there could be some emotional appeal if there isn't any. All right. And then logos, right? Like how does your speaker appeal to their audience's logic? Okay. So we're looking at all that. We're analyzing all that. And then how the different parts of an argument come together to achieve a purpose. In short, rhetorical analysis is a close look into how an author communicates their argument as opposed to focusing on the argument itself. Okay. So you're looking at how something is being presented. Okay. For your rhetorical analysis, okay, you're kind of in the driver's seat with this one as far as what you choose to analyze. All right. So for your rhetorical analysis, you are to choose a song or a speech. Okay. I put some, and this, I know it's kind of generic, like this is annoying me, man. This here. All right, so I put these links. All right. Let me just get this one back up here. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to come out of this screen and add it. I will add that again. Yeah, I'll add, it's this one, this famous speeches. And then there's also this one, top 100 speeches. You don't have to choose something from this. All right, let me just put that out there. Again, I just, um, if you're going to choose a speech, I was just thinking of, some of the most popular ones or some of the most famous ones, in US and, international history. All right. But you don't have to choose. Maybe there's a speech that is near and dear to you. The catch is you have to find some transcript of that speech, meaning like some written representation of that speech, because if it's something that you have to keep listening to over and over again, it's going to be hard to analyze, as opposed to like seeing it in front of you. All right, so you can choose a speech, whether it's one of these
If your
or
speech comes from yourself.
no. Okay, all right, although Trevor, I would be interested in hearing that speech. All right, all right, but yeah, okay, maybe you'll be in the next top 100 speeches. All right. But then you got to think, like, everybody on this list, they were just a regular person at some point. Not to say that they like having a great speech, allowed them to transcend being a regular person, but a lot of these people were at some point, they were just everyday folks. Right. Okay. So if you choose a speech, that's cool. Just make sure it's more of a doesn't have to be like a world famous or like a historical speech, but something that's known. All right, something that's known, or something that you can share a link to. Right, so I will be able to find it, or someone else in your audience will be able to find it. All right, excuse me. So for your rhetorical analysis, you want to choose a song or a speech. Okay, I don't have any links to songs because you're choosing the song. All right, to make your analysis more engaging. Okay, the goal is, if you choose a song, even if you choose a speech as well, but make sure it's a song that's making an argument, a song that says something other than just being a song for the sake of entertainment. All right, and it doesn't even have to be, it can be a song with some social commentary or some political commentary, or last semester, actually, man, I forgot the song that quick. But one of my students, and it was actually one of the most successful ones I received, but it was on this Beyonce song. The title of the song is escaping me right now, but really the song was an argument for like self-love and like a positive self-image. The essay really came together well. Actually, I will make it anonymous and post it as one of the examples, but it was a really successful essay. All right. So don't necessarily choose your favorite song for this. All right, but it can be a song that you like. Okay, but again, just make sure it's a song that's saying something. All right, but that something, that can be up to you. Sometimes the something is like a social political message, and then sometimes the message is just take it easy. All right.
So we have to find a song that links to our argument.
Nope. Got to find a song and look at the argument in the song.
So that is talking about the same argument that we're talking about in the essay.
No, the argument in the song is going to be the argument in the essay.
Yeah.
Yeah, meaning you're going to be showing your reader how this song, makes that argument. All right. So I would start with, and this is for anybody, I would start with, check out some of your playlists, man. Check out check out what you're into. And I encourage students to start there for any essay. Right? Any essay that your teacher doesn't give you a topic like, hey, we're all writing about like climate change or something like that. So if your teacher doesn't give you a topic, my advice always is to start, ask yourself, right, what am I interested in? Okay, what am I listening to? And what speeches, really resonated with me. right? Could be a campaign speech, could be some historical speech, could be a speech, you know, from some coach, you know, in some sporting event. That's going to be up to you. All right. And then I will show you like a couple of examples of this. And then as we go more into like the structure of this thing, like I'll show you what yours could look like. It doesn't necessarily have to look like this. All right, so to make your analysis more engaging, try choosing a song or speech that conveys the message. You may need to conduct some basic research. That's my advice, because in order to establish an artist or speaker's ethical appeal, you're going to have to do some research into their background. Again, when you look at appeal to ethos or appeal to ethics, you're just answering the question, right? What makes this person believable, right? Like if it's a song that's about, you know, some social issue, look into whether the artist, you know, has a history of making songs like that, or was this just kind of a one-off thing, right? That makes a difference. Okay, so if you're looking at an artist, you know, look at some of their other music, right? Same thing if you're looking at a speaker, you know, what's their background, right? What qualifies them, you know, to speak on whatever you're discussing, right? So you may need to conduct some basic research on the artist, the speaker, and, you know, maybe there's an issue being addressed in the song or the speech, right? And, you know, you might want to do some background on the history of that issue. Okay. Now, song is up to you. Song is up to you. All right, speech is up to you. Okay. If you are analyzing a song, it can be from any genre. All right, whatever you're into. Okay. Just make sure it has words. All right. Because you're gonna have to, like, you're gonna need something to analyze. All right, explicit content is fine. You know, we're all adults for the most part. Like, I can't see everybody's face, but I guess I'm assuming, okay, since we're in college, you know, we're at least 18. Okay. During the pre-writing stage, which is kind of where we are now, like very, very early in this process, but think about the points you wish to make in your analysis. Though the song or speech you use is completely up to you, it'd be in your best interest, you know, to choose a song that makes it clear. Okay. Song that's saying something, song that's about something. Okay. Every time I do this assignment, every time. Okay, and I've been doing this assignment, just different forms of this assignment for about, let's say, nearly 10 years. But every time I do this assignment, two songs come up. All like somebody's gonna do like one of these two songs. All right, Black Eyed Peas, "Where's the Love?" Like people always do that song, man. And then Michael Jackson, "Man in the Mirror." All right, no matter what class, right? I always have at least two of those. Okay, always have at least two of those. Nothing wrong with doing that, of course. Okay, nothing wrong with doing that. All right. It's just interesting that I always get those two. All right. So once you settle on what you're doing, got my speech, got my song, whatever. All right. Okay. I know what I'm doing. All right. Now, and I think this is good preliminary work to do, right? You can jot this down in a notebook. You can take some more formal notes, you know, just typing up stuff. But I think if you work through this stuff before you start committing your ideas to a draft, you know, writing, especially writing an essay, you know, it's never an easy process. But I think if you do, you know, some work on the front end, it makes the writing a little bit easier. All right, because you already have your ideas worked out. All right. So ask yourself, right? Or ask Google, right? Who's the artist or who's the speaker? Okay.
Professor,
Yeah, go ahead.
when are we supposed to mention the song? Like in the beginning of the essay, middle, and
Yeah, early, early. I'm gonna show you some example paragraphs, Aham. All right, just to show how it could look. All right. But whenever you're doing an analysis, do try to mention the subject matter as early as possible, but definitely in your introduction. All right, definitely in your introduction. Somewhere. Okay. It's the same, that's why I say there's kind of some carryover from your summary response essays. Because just as you mentioned the title and author early in those, you're going to do the same thing in your rhetorical analysis. Right? So you're thinking about, who's the speaker? Who's the artist? Okay, what have they done before? What's their track record? Okay, what's their education? If it's relevant. All right. Sometimes your speaker could be an expert on what they're saying, but they don't have a formal education. That's fine. Okay. A formal education does not always make one credible. And then not having a formal education does not always make one not credible. Okay. Incredible. Okay. All right. So think about the source. Think about your artist. Okay. Also, think about the context, meaning what was going on from a historical standpoint, or from a social standpoint, or a political standpoint, from a cultural standpoint, what was happening that made this speaker make this speech, or that made this artist make this song? Meaning, like, what's it a response to? Okay, so when you do a rhetorical analysis, it's gonna fall. There's gonna be two parts to it: a textual analysis and a contextual analysis. A textual analysis means like you're looking at the actual words, looking at the author's words, looking at rhetorical strategies. Okay, that's a necessary part of your analysis. But also your contextual analysis, it looks at, okay, where did this song come from? What's this song a response to? What's this speech a response to? Right? Like, just, a couple people, there's a few that I always get, and then another one is Dr. King's "I Have a Dream" speech, because I think it's a speech that you can, it's relatively easy to find. But if you're, if, just as an example, if you're doing something like that, then examine the times, right? What inspired Dr. King to make this speech, right? What inspired President Obama to make a speech? What inspired our former President Trump to make a speech, right? So I think whatever you're doing, whether it's a song, whether it's a speech, part of your essay is going to have to be like, include some contextual analysis, meaning like, okay, what was going on at the time when this song came out, or when this speech was delivered? Okay, that could be early in your essay as well. Like, that can actually, like, your contextual analysis, that can actually be your first one or couple of body paragraphs, right? Because you have to describe the historical setting, the political setting, the cultural setting. Okay, so what was going on at the time the piece was created? Okay, what was going on at the time? All right, and then, right, after you looked at the artist or speaker's background, after you looked at the context, of the article, I mean the argument, then what's this person saying? What claims are being made in the speech, right? What appeals are being used to persuade or move the audience to be receptive of their claim? Okay. Whether you agree or disagree with this platform, our former president, President Trump, he was great at using rhetorical strategies, right? Or, you know, reaching his target audience. All right. He was pretty skilled at that. Okay. So think about it. What appeals are being used? Okay. Is there emotional imagery? Right. President Obama was great at that too. Balancing these appeals, right? Emotional appeal, logical appeal. Okay. And I think to be like an effective speaker, it's a great skill to blend those, not to rely on one too much, right? The emotional or the logic, because we, you know, as humans, we make decisions with our hearts and minds. All right. But think about that. And that's, you know, if you're analyzing the speech, right, there's nothing wrong with you saying, you know, this speaker relied too much on emotional appeal and there wasn't enough logical appeal. That's cool. That's your right, you know, as a critical thinker. Okay. Also, you know, you may be opposed to the message, but you may not be in the target audience. Okay. So you're asking yourself, well, how well did this go over with the targeted audience? All right. And then finally, right, is the argument convincing? Why or why not? That's up to you. Okay. Now, organize your thoughts and your writing around a specific well-worded thesis statement. Oh man, here's this bad word, right? Thesis statement. Okay. Thesis statement. What's a thesis statement? To go 15-10 on you real quick. Somebody tell me, what's a thesis statement? What is it?
Doesn't it just like state the topic or the main idea?
Yeah. Okay. That's exactly what it does, right? It's the main idea. Okay. Main idea. So you need a thesis statement. Okay. And here's the double jeopardy question, right? Where do we usually put our thesis statement? We know what it is, but now where is it?
Isn't it
Usually.
like
Say it.
I want to say at the end of the first paragraph?
Yeah,
Like,
man. Okay. Trust yourself. Trust your trust your gut. Okay, trust your gut, man. All right. Yeah. Okay. At the end of your introduction. So you're gonna spend your intro kind of building up to your thesis statement. Okay. The thesis is the most important. Man, is that an overstatement? I don't think so. Okay, the thesis statement is the most important sentence in the entire essay. So consider it carefully. And just like the rest of your essay, your thesis statement may go through like multiple revisions. That's okay. The thesis can either offer an overall evaluation of the song or speech's effectiveness or an encapsulation of its general rhetorical strategy. Listen, here's a thesis statement. Okay. With its vivid imagery and haunting track, Wu-Tang Clan's Cream appeals to listeners' logic and emotion as the song exposes the underbelly of a money-driven society. Okay, Cream, if you don't know, the Wu's work, okay, cash rules everything around me, right? So think about that. So this thesis statement, it captures the argument that this song is making. Just exposes the underbelly of a money-driven society. Okay. So my paper, if we were to flesh this out, it's going to show how, right? It's going to show how there's logical appeal. It's going to show how there's emotional appeal. And I would probably, in my contextual analysis, I would talk about, you know, some of the things that was going on in, you know, inner city communities, you know, during the 90s, which is when this song came out. All right. Oh, just to backtrack a little bit, All right, your essay, I mean, if you go with a song or even a speech, but it doesn't have to be something new, right? Doesn't have to be anything new. Okay, Aiden, I don't know if you're on this session, but yeah, your brother, man, I got to put you on the spot. Okay, your brother did a great rhetorical analysis on Sam Cooke's "Change Is Gonna Come." Man. All right.
Yeah, I remember that. I read that for him.
I thought you were about to say you wrote it for him.
Oh no, I didn't write it for him, but I read it after he finished writing it before he turned it in.
Nice. Okay, so
You
it
was
came
about
out
to
really
give him
well.
a 0.
Say what?
You was about to give him a 0 again.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, man. No. Look, Aiden, I'll be checking your turn it in percentage extra hard though. No, no. But what I'm saying is, one, change is gonna come came out before everybody on the Zoom session was born. Okay. And second of all, like, I think the essay, I'll see if I can, I don't want to show it because Aiden, you'll know whose it is. All right. But there was like some great contextual analysis in there aside from the lyrics of the song, there was like some great history in there. All right. But what I'm saying is your song it didn't even have to come out of your lifetime. Same thing as like the speech, it doesn't even have to be something that was made in your lifetime. All right. Some things ring true across time. All right. So think about it. Okay. Think about it. Think about what you want to do. Like, I love music, so I try to incorporate it into assignments when we can. This assignment will also require you to do some basic. Basic is bolded and underlined because we aren't going like full-blown research project just yet. Okay, that's coming after we do this rhetorical analysis. Okay, actually, once we finish the rhetorical analysis, like around mid to late March, the rest of our semester is going to be dedicated to your research paper, your final research paper. Look into the artist or speaker's background and the historical period of the music or speech. You will not need to cite basic like biographical information. Okay. However, right, this is how we're doing something different from what we just did. You will need to cite at least 2 credible sources, which is not a lot. Okay. Maybe there's a Rolling Stone article about your artist or about your song. Maybe there's a write-up, of someone commenting on, a speech that was made, right? Maybe you look up, some statistics, if you're looking at like logical appeal, right? Because songs don't necessarily present evidence. They may hint at some evidence, and you as a reader, you as a reader or as a listener, you may make that connection in your own mind. Okay. Your citation may be a news article related to the issue in your song or speech, quotes from a review of their artist's work, or quotes from the artist themselves. Like maybe there's an interview, right, with the artist or speaker. I think those are great. Like if you're doing a song or if you're doing a speech and you find an interview with that speaker or with that artist, that would be great, right? Like if you can get it from their own mouth, like, here's what I meant when I wrote this song, or, here's what I meant when I made the speech. All right. And or a source describing the artist or speaker's influences or body of work. Oh, this is good too. If the song or speech is particularly controversial, all right, or has been censored. Those work great for these assignments, right? If there's a song or a speech with a lot of controversy around it. Okay. Look for a source explaining the controversy surrounding the work. Feel free to use more than one source, but for this essay, yours should be the dominant voice. And that's with anything you write, right? Except for a summary, right? But in most other writing circumstances, your voice should be the dominant voice. Okay, now, here's the fun parts. Okay. Format, MLA, 4 to 6 pages. Okay, we're getting a little bit longer, all right, than what we just did. All right. 4 to 6 pages. Rough draft, due March 10th. That is a Thursday. That following week, the 15th. The 15th and the 17th, yeah, okay. That Tuesday and Thursday, the following week, you and I will be meeting one-on-one about your paper. So I will already have your papers read by then. All right. And you and I will have a one-on-one Zoom session where we go over the feedback, we discuss your ideas, you know, we discuss how we can make your paper the best we can make it. Okay. So the conference is 15th and 17th, and the final draft is going to be due March 22nd. A Tuesday. All right. I'm actually thinking about, we'll see how it goes, but we can make that the 24th if need be. Okay. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how we're looking when we get those rough drafts in. All right. And then the last thing is just kind of an explanation of ethos, pathos, logos. Ethos, again, ethical appeal. Pathos, emotional appeal. Logos, logical appeal. What qualifies the author to speak on the subject at hand? Could be their life experiences. Okay. Don't discount that. Right. So when you think credibility, it doesn't always have to be some formal education or some formal training. Okay. It's like you're a mechanic, but you don't have any certifications, but you've been working on cars your whole life, and you can pretty much take a car apart and put it back together in your sleep. Right. That qualifies you. Okay. So you may not have the quote unquote formal training, but you know, you have the experience. Okay. So that may be the situation with, you know, whomever you're talking about, your speaker or your artist. Okay. Now,
I read about someone having a fake license for pilot, and then he's been like flying planes for like I don't know, 30 years for the same company, but then when they found out, they kicked him out. He had fake license. But I say that it doesn't really matter. They should have given him a real one.
yeah, I think he earned it.
I mean, 30 years with no accident, no mistakes, no nothing.
Oh yeah. Okay. There was that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, man. Catch Me If You Can. And he impersonated a pilot, a doctor, couple of other important positions.
Oh yeah, that story is actually about the most thief person ever. I think he's
Yeah, this is a true story. That's a true story, man. This is a true story, right? Like charm can take you a long way, man. All right, but so when you're looking at your speech or the song you chose, what makes them credible? Like if I was to flesh this out, right? You know, this Wu-Tang song, I would look at, you know, how these 9 guys from Staten Island, or just different boroughs of New York, all of them weren't from Staten Island, but I would look into like, okay, what gives these guys the authority to speak on what's happening in their songs, what they address in their songs? So then I would discuss, some of the life experiences, that some of the members have had. All right. So that's what I mean. Like, look into that background. And what I was saying before, I know in academic speak, Wikipedia is kind of a bad word, and I don't cite Wikipedia, but if you're just looking at background, Wikipedia is a good place to start. Okay. I always say, like, but if you are looking at Wikipedia, check out those footnotes, right? Check out where Wikipedia, is getting their content from. Okay. But Wikipedia, I'm not gonna go out. I'm not gonna go out on a limb and say it's credible, even though most of the time it is, right? But I think it's still able to be altered by users. I'm not even sure that's true anymore, right?
Well, it's actually that you can request anyone who can view
Yeah.
any article from Wikipedia. You can just request an edit and then edit what you want, and then they will receive it and then preview it.
Oh, nice. Okay. So this is why you'll hear most instructors say don't cite Wikipedia in your papers. Like, always look at where Wikipedia is getting their material from. Okay. Think about the other music or speeches in their background. Okay. If it's a speech, right, look at, what that person has done to lead up to this speech, right? Where does the speech fit into their body of work? Okay. Do they have a history of making songs or speeches, with similar content, right? And then, you're looking into the emotional appeal, right? Does the artist appeal to the audience, or the speaker appeal to the audience's emotions to persuade them? Music often, another thing about music, when you're looking at emotional appeal, if you choose a song, sometimes the track itself lends to the emotional appeal, right? So part of your analysis could be focusing on the words, but if you want to, you can also focus on, like, the role that the music itself plays, right? Like, if we look at this thesis statement, right? Vivid imagery and haunting track. Okay. Like, if you heard Cream before, there's the piano loop, that keeps playing. All right. It's actually based on a love song. That was interesting. Like, the sample came from a love song. All right. It's the great thing about hip hop, just kind of repurposing music. All right. So another thing, and this would go for a song and a speech, right? Look at if there's a video recording, right? If someone is giving a speech, look at what they're wearing. Look at their body language, right? Look at who's surrounding them. Does it add anything? Say it again, Aham.
In this essay, can we like link the song to our personal
No.
life at all? Okay.
No personal beliefs and no personal stuff in this one. All right. No personal stuff in this one. Okay. So you're gonna be, like, laser focused on this your subject matter. Okay. If there's a video for the song, right? What does it add to it? What images are present in the video? That can definitely be part of this assignment. Okay. That's if there's some visual representation of what you're writing about. All right. If you're choosing a song with no video, you won't have that part in your essay. Okay. Don't look at those, like, sometimes YouTube users will like make their own videos to songs. That doesn't count. All right. It has to be official video from the artist. All right. But it's the same, like, if you're looking at I got one last semester. It was I want to say it was FDR's speech before Pearl Harbor. I could be getting my presidents mixed up here, but part of the analysis was, of course, on what's being said, the historical context of it, but the student also wrote some great material about like camera positioning and what the speaker was wearing, right? This color suit versus that color suit, right? All that makes a difference. All that makes a difference. It's like when you go for like a job interview, right? Most of the time, you're gonna be well, I'm not gonna say you're gonna be dressed up, but it depends on the job. But most of the time, right, you're gonna be dressed not extra formal, but you're gonna be wearing something decent, I guess. I don't know. It makes a difference, right? What if what if like Joe Biden like gave his State of the Union address and he had on like some shorts in a t-shirt and maybe like some slides or something. Right? How do you think that would impact what he's saying? Right? So it makes a difference, man. Personally, I would be all for that, if the president had on like some shorts and some slides.
And people actually are gonna think of him as stupid.
Yeah, let's say fine, not me, man. I was like, finally, man, the president knows how to chill, man. No. But you're right. I think it would certainly affect how people perceived him.
Yeah, because he's a president, and the feelings go deeper than that,
Yeah, being on like shorts, the t-shirt and some slides. He came out with a beer.
They might feel like he don't care no more.
Yes. Okay. Yes, man. Like he just woke up and he was like, oh, that was today? The State of the Union? Man. Okay. Oh, man. Show must go on. All right. So it makes a difference, is all I'm saying. Okay. So that's the thing about an analysis. You're kind of looking at everything, how everything kind of works together. All right. How everything works together. And you better believe like our presidents and other people in positions of authority who present themselves to people, you better believe that all that stuff is thought about. What should I wear? How should I hold my hands? What color should my tie be? Right? If it's someone who's wearing a tie, of course. All right. How should I speak? Right? Should I be formal? Should I be casual? Okay. All that makes a difference, right? Is your speaker giving the appearance of being down to earth? Right? Okay, as some speakers do. Some speakers have a really good knack for putting people at ease. All right. Like, I'm about to tell you this real horrible news, but no, take it easy. All right. Is there humor involved? Okay. Are there images to invoke sadness? Like if you think of those what's the acronym? Like the animal control commercial or the dog shelter commercials, where it's like it's the sad music playing and they show the three-legged dog and all that. Okay, it's emotional appeal. All right, emotional appeal. Okay. And then finally, does the artist appeal to the audience's logic by using either evidence or well-reasoned ideas? Okay. If it's a speaker, what examples or evidence, do they use? Okay. If it's a song, what references are made? All right, because again, a song, the artist may not necessarily have time, or it's a piece of art, so an artist might not want to break out the research. Okay. All right, kind of make for a boring song.
Professor, what would be an example of a speech if we don't want to choose a song instead?
Oh. Check one of these out, man. Yeah. Click on any one of these, man.
So are these long? Because if they are, then aren't we?
They're like different lengths. Okay. And then
Because I just find it harder to write 4 pages of 3-minute video.
no, this was like 13 minutes. And
No,
it's
I mean the songs.
no, I think, and I actually, a couple of the examples I'm going to show you on Thursday are from songs, and really like the length of the song doesn't matter. And I'll show you what I mean, because you can take like one line from the song, and like when you really look at it, you can get a lot out of it. Okay, you can get a lot out of it. But with that being said, Aham, you know, some of these speeches are fairly long, like this JFK speech. Okay, it's pretty long. Right.
So if we use this for example, are we not just summarizing it basically and then putting more words into it from our
There's
own?
going to be some summary involved, but I think like if you're doing this, okay, one thing you're going to look at, it's a speech on civil rights, right?
Mhm.
So look at what was happening in the country in 1963. So part of your analysis, Aham, is going to be about like why would the president, right, have to address civil rights in 1963? So part of your job for this assignment, and this is for anything you're doing, for any speech or any song, part of it is going to be looking at what was going on in the country, you know, in 63, in June of 63. All right. And that's for any one of these speeches, right? Or, you know, or for a song that you chose. What was going on? Right? What was happening? Right? What inspired, you know, the piece of art or, you know, the speech that you chose? Right? So just hypothetically, Aham, if you are doing this one, part of your essay, and this even before you got into the analysis of the speech, part of this essay, like very early, would just be looking at here's what was going on in 63, right? Here's why, you know, JFK, you know, felt compelled to make this speech addressing civil rights. Yeah.
But don't you think that we need to summarize like what the whole speech is about?
Yeah, definitely.
The audience?
That's what I'm saying. Like some of your essay is going to be some, definitely. All right. But I think it's also going to have that analytical part though too. Right. So you're going to be looking at what's said, but then you're going to be looking at like I don't know, like the deeper meaning of what's said, you know, if you will. Also, you're going to be looking at, you know, how JFK or whoever you're writing about, how they use these appeals, right? So part of your essay also, what is going to make JFK credible, you know, when it comes to speeches on civil rights. And one thing you could look at is that JFK, like he kind of always had his foot in that world, or he was always an advocate, you know, for civil rights, right? So that could be something that you put in your paper. All right, just looking into his background. So, and there is going to be elements, or there are going to be elements of summary in your paper, but it's just going to be like a little bit more enhanced than just the summary. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So here's your speech right here, man. Okay.
I kind of like this one. It's long.
Yeah.
I want something that is long.
There's some good one. And then I'm gonna put this one back up, but let's see if I could just go to the list. I don't know if this one has a list like the other one. All right. So the search for this one may be different, or the searching function may be different. All right. Yeah, you just gotta go, you gotta scroll sideways. Right. Okay. And I'll search around. I'll actually, I got a good one on this one last semester. Women's rights or human rights. Okay. And I can put some, I'll see if I can find another one of these lists of famous speeches. But really, I encourage you to, maybe there's a historical figure that you're into for whatever reason. All right. Or again, if you want to do a song, that's fine as well. Okay.
Do we have links on both of these to on D2L? Like both
Yep.
of these two websites?
I'm about to add this one again,
Okay.
but this top 100 speeches is right here.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Mhm. And then, like I said, I'll see if I can find a couple more of these, because they're not, I guess they're not old by my definition, but some people may find them old. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I know Steve Jobs made a pretty good speech, a pretty famous speech. It's pretty much about doing what you like.
Steve Jobs?
Yeah.
Is it on there?
No, but it is very easy to find. Oh yeah, here it is. It's the Steve Jobs commencement address, if you're interested in him. And it's actually a good speech. And again, like I said, it's kind of about this idea of, just doing what makes you happy.
Wait, that's at his graduation.
No, this is at, I think, Stanford. All right. This is at Stanford, and this was in 05. Okay. Was it Stanford? Yeah, Stanford. All right. So if you want to do this, Aham, I can send you this link. All right. But this is actually a good speech. So what I was saying is, if you want something that's more recent, I mean, you guys would know that, better than I would. All right. But again, try to find a speech where there's like a written transcript of it. Okay. And then Aham, this one's kind of long as well. All right. Yeah. Stay hungry, stay foolish, right? That's the argument right there. Okay. That's the argument right there. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Okay. Foolish meaning like don't listen to what people tell you when they tell you that your idea or your ambition is crazy. Okay. Maybe they're crazy. Right? Now. Okay. Any other questions about this thing? Okay, I know that was a lot. And Thursday, like I said, I will show you just a few examples of this. Actually, there's one in our rhetorical analysis module, and the examples they're written by students. All right. I have one. Oh yeah, I have two actually. One is this one. It's a Joyner Lucas song that a student wrote about. All right. And then this other one is, I think this one's on a speech. So I tried to put one song in one speech. Okay. And then I will show you some additional examples and just the way some paragraphs could look on Thursday. So we will have a session Thursday. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, this is actually JFK's speech. All right, the one we were just looking at. All right. And this student, it got a good 4 pages out of it. Okay, this might be longer than 4 pages once I make it into a Word doc or download it as a Word doc. Okay, and then the rest of this stuff is just stuff we'll have a look at Thursday as well. Just like I got some slides, of course. All right, and then some other material about rhetorical analysis. But if you want to get a head start, you can start browsing this material. All right, or Thursday, if you've already decided, you know, what you're gonna focus on, you can run that idea past me and then we could have some dialogue about that as well. All right. So the prompt itself, again, is in the week 4 rhetorical analysis module. But outside of that, you know, we can pick it back up Thursday. All right. Any other
When's the
questions?
paper due?
Say what now?
When's the paper due?
Rough draft Thursday, March 10th.
Oh, from a while from now.
Yeah, well, you guys are off next week. And I didn't want to have it do like a day over the break. I didn't want to do that to you all. All right. So next week is, I think that like mid-winter break. So you guys are off that week. Hopefully the weather will
Okay.
be decent.
Well, I hope you have a wonderful evening and you get to walk your dog.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Yeah. We got one more meeting and another class later, then we'll see how it goes. I feel like I've been sitting in this chair since about 5 a.m. this morning.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we're all good.
Yeah,